Hello and welcome to the eSeniors GT3 Group 1 Championship Round 1 race being held at Zandvoort. If the last few races have been anything to go by and the fantastic commentary from Juan yesterday, I think it's a case of bolt yourself in and enjoy the ride. Because I think the Group 3 race, the Group 2 race and hopefully the Group 1 race are showing that we might be old, but boy have we still got it. So really looking forward to quite an interesting race today. Couple of ground rules for everybody. As a result of the Formula 1, we can't talk Formula 1, no spoilers, and if anybody puts anything in the chat about the Formula 1, I will delete it if I get a chance to do so. So please respect people's requests of not discussing Formula 1 and what the results are, so we don't spoil it for anybody else. We're going to go into qualifying. They're all doing their outlap at the moment, so as I said, there's nothing to see here. I've got Jeremy with me again today.
Hello everyone.
And Jeremy's going to be my spotter, and obviously we'll be having discussion points of hopefully lack of incidents but just great racing. Quite a few have joined the stream. Juan's joined the stream. Hi Juan, thanks for joining. We've got Luke. We've got Bolton Lad and Scouser. Be nice if you can put a name to that. If you are from Bolton, you're quite local to me. Andy Lees. Who else? We've got Terry. Hi Terry. We've got Daniel Britos. Hi Daniel. We've got Steve Howells. Yep. Hi all, and we'll go to the action now, as they're all just starting to get through that first initial lap. So, bit of a pre-race running up, and the qualifying session before this, there were some absolutely astonishing times. You know, I qualified in the Group 2 yesterday with a very late 1:36, and I thought that was quick. I think I'll be going backwards around the track, having to watch these guys, because some of the times they've been pumping in the session just before this were absolutely eye-watering. How they can get these things around the track and the speed they've been doing it is beyond me, because I was pushing myself to the limit and these guys are much quicker than that. So I'm hoping we're going to see them sort of times for the qualifying session here. So Bolton Lad and Scouser is Chris Vickers. He's here to support Nelson. Welcome Bolton Lad and Scouser. Welcome Chris. Really do hope you enjoy the stream. Nelson's obviously new to the group. He had a fantastic opening week with us, and we wish him all the best in this in this first race. Scouser, Luke, Scouser, isn't that Liverpoolianism? Well, as I've got a Scouse background, I can't really say that. So you know, you've heard it from me in the stream. Okay, so what we're going to do is jump on board with one of our resident aliens, although they're all resident aliens, it's fair to say. Peter Wolfslenner. So Peter's one of these where he'll just do that absolutely jaw-dropping lap. Watching him around the track, he doesn't make mistakes, you know, and his lap times are blistering. He did the Ferrari last season. He's picked the Bentley this season. The Bentley seems to be the go-to car in relation to this track, and he's already just pumped in a 1:35.2. So just let that settle in, a 1:35.2 on his second out lap in effect. So his tyres aren't even up to speed, and he's going faster again already. So I did a 1:36.9. He's over a second and a half quicker than that, and that's his first attempt. So I think that sets a marker in the sand quite clearly on how fast these guys are. That's absolutely blistering time. Behind him we've got Reese Wiggin, and I mean all these guys are fast. 1:35.9, Carlo 1:36.2, Rogers 1:36.3, Kaola 1:36.3, Wood 1:36.4. There's a pattern emerging, isn't there? They're all just quick. So I will put the quickest times up on the screen in a bit. I'll just try to get everyone to get a lap in first of all, just so we there's a bit of, because there's still a few people in the pits who haven't yet done a lap. My wife is from the Wirral. I fancy the challenge. I like that, Chris. I really like that. Not wrong with the Wirral. One of my work colleagues spent a lot of time in the Wirral. He really likes the place. Some lovely beaches, I must say. Go over there to West Kirby, is it? I'm sure you'll know West Kirby. Not Kirby in the traditional manner. So Peter is going even quicker. He's he looks like he's going to hit the 1:34. Is he going to do it? 1:35.052. So wasn't that absolutely flying laps there? But yeah, unbelievable lap times these. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to jump on board with John Saunders. John Saunders is doing a 136 flat, and he's currently slightly up. Okay, I'm just reading what Lee's put in the chat. That's great, Lee. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. I do save the replays anyway. At a judgment call one, I think you're possibly a little bit too young. So, unfortunately, you have to wait a number of years, I should imagine, before you can start racing with us. There's a new Brighton, I've been told, to the old one. Nice one, Luke. Is this 50 and older racing gear or not that strict? We know we are strict. So if you're 49 and 11 months, you can't race. But once you get to 50, you're free to race. Hi, Melvin. Welcome to the stream.
Melvin.
As Juan's just said, he's going to have to wait 27 years.
So here we have Kayola trying to
John Saunders.
show his pace as well.
Yeah, Kayola's done a 135.4. They're both on slow laps at the moment. No, Reese Wiggins not a young lad. Definitely not a young lad. We're all definitely over 50. Some of the guys racing are into the 70s. And some of the quicker guys. I hope my reflexes are that good when I'm that old. Right, so I'm just looking at who's looking to push a decent lap at the moment. I'll switch to Alessandro. Let me go to the helicam with Alessandro so we can see what's going on. He's 3/10 up, and this is going to put him into the 135s. He's 4/10 up now. I'll put the best lap time on, and what I'll also do is I'll remove from what's the name of the timing screen. I'll remove the standard timing screen from the Assetto Corsa. Hi Andreas, welcome to the stream. So Peter was going slightly quicker. Reese is going quicker. I am watching where they are on the track just to see if it's worth switching to them, because Alessandro's lost his time. Out of the top 6, 4 of the drivers are currently going quicker. I'm going to switch to...
Hello, Andreas.
I'm going to switch to Peter Wolfslaner, because Peter's fluctuating between a 10th and 2/10. Yeah, he's lost a bit of time there. He went into that corner really good, but seemed to lose a bit of pace coming out. He is up slightly. I think this is going to be out the first 134 we've got. This is definitely looking like a 134. No, he's lost that bit of time. I still think he's going to be quicker, because you don't really tend to lose time too much in that bend unless you back off. No, didn't go any quicker.
No, it did get that 134.9 previously, so he's looking for it again.
He is, yeah.
Carlo is very close to him, and so is
Reese.
Andrea.
Reese is on a quick lap
Reese,
here.
wow.
He's on a.
All those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys are within the same half second almost. It's incredible.
The problem is trying to predict who's going to win this one. It's literally throw cards up in the air and try and find the ace. You know what I mean? I don't think you can do it. Peter, Carlo, and usually Chris Bourne, to be honest, when he puts a lap in, you tend to find them battling. Andrea's always quick. Reese is quick. We've not really seen John Saunders or Mark Rogers race. Neil Bywater threw in an absolutely flying lap before. Craig Holmes and Lars are usually up there, as is Diamante and Wood, Noble. You know, I'm going down the list and I'm thinking these guys roll fast, and I just couldn't turn around and say who's going to win this and who's going to come second. I think we'll know at the finish line.
Well, you know, from experience, and if I take it from the previous championship, Peter Wolfslaner is a very tough competitor. Is someone, once the race starts, who can put a very fast lap and maintain that speed and pace, and he's going to be. I think he's the man to beat, even today. I think maybe Carlo and Kayola will give him a run, and but I believe it's going to be between these three.
Yeah,
Peter, Carlo, and Andrea.
Nelson's just managed to move up the grid a little bit. I think he was in 16th before. He's now moved up into 12th, so he's managed to better his lap. But it is really eye-opening when you're used to being able to race and you think, you know, you believe yourself to be quick, and then you get put up against other cars who are just blisteringly quick. It does make you realise that there's a lot of skill out there. And I know people say it's a computer game, but the physics and everything in this game do make it what it is. You know, if you take that out of the game, you're back to using revs on the BBC Micro. For anybody who remembers that, you're all seniors, so you should do. You know, that sort of game.
That's right.
Just looking at some of the chat. So Juan, he's 23 and he sucks. He drives with a no force VBAC G27, and he switched with the buttons because the paddles are broken. That would be a challenge, shall we say? Who else can we jump on board with? We'll jump on board with Andrea. Being Spanish isn't good, apparently. That's come straight from the Spaniard.
I see a nice suggestion in the comments from Nico, who suggests maybe we should have a junior division 30 to 49. We've been thinking about that. It's not out of the question.
So, Nico, I've not seen your name come up before. You're obviously not registered. Are you watching someone, or you're under 50 and therefore you're chomping at the bit? Because suggestions are suggestions. We know we don't discount anything, and people in the group will tell you we do listen to people. You know, we do take things on board. We've got Jack. Thanks, Jack. Much appreciated. It wasn't as easy as it was. We've got Kai on the stream. For those who didn't know yesterday, you'd have noticed Terry caught me up partway through the race. Partway through the race, I was going down the straight. I hadn't hit a curb or anything, and it come up and said front right pressure loss. So that kind of threw me for a number of laps until I changed my driving style to run with a front right that was run at 26.4. So that's why I become quite sluggish towards the end. I was really struggling. Hi Mark, welcome to the stream. So who's moving forward at the moment? It's become pretty static, and I think it looks like they've managed to put their the best lap times in as we stand. There's no one really making ground. Chris Baker's he's 3/10 up. I'll jump on board with Chris because he's only early into his lap at the moment. If he can keep this up, this will take him up a number of places in the table. So Nico, your friend's Jonathan Wood. Right. Oh, cheers, thanks for the compliment. Yeah, the thing is, Terry, you saying curb hits. The only curb you can really hit is the chicane, and I always make a point of not hitting the bump on the way in. But what surprising was, it was on the straight towards the end of the straight. So, you know, losing pressure after a curb makes sense, but not when you've gone down the straight for a good proportion of it. So it was just a bit bizarre. But it certainly made it entertaining. You put me under a lot of pressure, and then obviously Lee put you under pressure as well. And some fantastic driving from you guys. Really kept me on my toes. Chris Baker's just threw his lap away there, unfortunately. Someone else who seems to be struggling, unusually, Mr. Bourne. With one of I think this is one of Nikos's liveries.
That's right.
Yeah, Frank Tennant's just saying he too had right pressure loss. I presume he was going to say, but he at the curb.
Well, I think also there's a big difference this week with the previous off-season races. We had a few drivers missing. Wolfslander was one of them. Kayola, they were not part of the mix. Lars wasn't there either. So here you are. You know, now it gives you the real idea of where it's at. Because I even see Jonathan Wood in 12th position when the off-season he was always in the top 5.
Yeah. Chris Bourne's still 2/10 up, between 2 and 3/10 up. This is going to take him up about 3 places.
Switch cars, didn't he? I think he used to. Didn't he have the Bentley before? I'm not sure if he had the Bentley or not, but
I can't remember. I don't think he was a Lexus man last time.
I don't think so.
Alessandro is coming up to the end of his lap, or kind of, and he's 4/10 up at the moment. This is going to put him into the 1:35.6s, which could put him in 4th place. No, sorry, 6th place, I think, if he can keep this together. 1:35.6. It's going to take him to 6th place, I think.
Alessandro is a very fast driver.
He is, yeah. There you go. It's put him into 6th place with a 1:35.6.
Very nice. Very nice.
Lee's just saying there he thinks Bourne was in the AMG last season. Yes, he
Yes,
was.
you're absolutely right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right, Lee. Yes.
Right. Hold on to your hats because we have someone who's ready, who's just about to put, if he can keep it together, an absolutely flying lap in.
Peter.
We're on board with Peter. Yeah. He's currently up on his best lap time. I'm not going to say how much he's up, but he is up. Could be 1/10, it could be 2/10, it could be more. But if he can keep this together, he's going to be in the 134s without a shadow of a doubt. And this is going to be. He seems to be. That bend. He loses time at the end of the bend. He's lost all his time. He was 3/10 up. He's lost it all. Yeah. 135.0. 135.1.
Well, he managed to put that 134 before the session started, but
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he's been looking for it, but I think he gave it up now.
With John Saunders, 3 minutes to go in qualifying. With on board with John Saunders, he's another one of the guys going a little bit quicker. He has lost his time what he had though. It's amazing, isn't it? You can make all that time in one corner and lose it all in the next. And it's one of them. You can put them all together. It all adds up to a big chunk of time. It's so bizarre.
But look at this: the top 10, the top 9 drivers in the same second.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Very nice. Very nice.
And Lars is only out of that by 11 thousandth.
That's right.
Cheers, Terry Howard. Welcome to the stream. Thanks very much. And we've got Dave T from Sim Racing Elite. Hi, Dave. Hopefully you'll enjoy the stream.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, just reading back. I think Nelson stated his tyre loss was the left side rather than the right side. But that was a bit confusing because there's limited curbs on the left. I suppose there's a couple of limited curbs, but there's no big curves on the left-hand side. So yeah, you said confused. I totally agree with you. Absolutely confusing.
Yeah, look, you are funny, Luke. Yes, you are pretty good at losing time every corner. The fact is, you are a much improved driver, and I believe you can fight for the top 3 in Group 3. Look, if you keep it up, you will get there.
Yeah, I'd say exactly the same there. I think, yeah, but Chris Victor was just saying then, how come this is round 1? I thought Imola was round 1. So Imola was a test race. So what we do is we set all the ground rules up for a test race. So we do the pre-race meetings and stuff, just out of season, just to get everyone ready for it. So when we start this week, it's, you know, everyone knows what to prepare for really. So yeah, Imola was a test race really. This is the first true race we're competing with. Next week we're at Monza for a 70-minute race, which will enforce pit stops as well. And that's going to be interesting again because there's certain cars that don't work well around certain tracks. So the Aston doesn't work well around Zandvoort. Everybody knows that it's a Bentley track. And the Aston doesn't work well around Monza. Again, it's a Bentley track. Actually, I think they're all Bentley tracks. But, you know, the point is you set your car up and you race everybody else on the track. Got Andy Goddard on the stream. Hi, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Andy, do you reckon cars go faster on Sunday because they have a roast dinner? No. The way the game works, actually, you set when you... I think Friday is open practice, so the track's set for green. Saturday is for qualifying, so the track's set to one element, and then Sunday it's set for race. So again, the surface is different. So if you're going to set your car up, you should always put the game into qualifying mode for set your car up for qualifying and put the game into race mode because it is different. You know, the different days, the surface of the track is different. There's not many people out on track at the moment. Nelson's going slightly faster. I'll just jump on board with Nelson. He's at the moment was 1/10 up. His quickest is a 136 flat. He has to gain a little bit, and it'll put him into 135. So he's not going to make any gains at the moment. He'd need at least 2/10 off his time to make a gain on that. Terry's just saying there.
Said his last word.
Sorry?
I don't think Peter has said his last word yet.
Yeah, I think he's on an out lap, isn't he? Because that lap he's doing is quite down at the moment. Yeah, Terry.
Something right now.
Terry's just saying, I don't know if I can do 70 minutes. I know I was shattered after the race yesterday, so I should imagine you. So 70 minutes is really going to test it. Hi, Nikos. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, Nikos.
So qualifying's over now. Anybody who's crossed the line is going to get the run in. Piola's the only one that's shown anything remotely similar to Green on the times. Peter is 2/10 down on his best time, so as it stands, he's not going to be making any further headway. Andrea has lost a bit of time here. He would need 4/10 just to beat Peter, and would need at least 1/10 to beat Carlo. So I think I think the grid is set up now as it is. The only potential mover on the board is David Noble, and he has the option here if he can pull it out of the bag. Let's jump on board with David Noble because he's at the moment he's up. If he can pull this out of the bag, he can gain 3 or 4 places and take him from 15th at a push. Doubt it though. No, he's lost a bit of time. He could get himself into the top 10, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's losing time a little bit here. He's now, he's lost all the gain he made. He's got it back a little bit. Can he pull it into the last corner? Oh, he's at the curb. That'll take you away. He hit the curb too much, which caused the front to over-rotate. And no, he's going to stay where he is. So that's pretty much, I think, the grid as it's been prescribed as we go on. Back in a second. Okay, just a quick walk down the grid as they start to roll. Peter in pole, Carlo in second, Andrea in third, Reese in fourth, John in fifth, Alessandro in sixth, Craig in seventh, Mark in eighth, Neil ninth, Nelson in 10th, Lars in 11th, Chris in 12th, Rudolph in 13th, Jonathan 14th, David 15th, Alistair 16th, Giovanni 17th, Chris 18th, David 19th, Tony 20th, Mark 21st, Merch 22nd, Derek 23rd, Eric 24th, Krista 25th, Ricard 26th, Shane 27, and Kev 28. So we've got 28 people battling it out. So hopefully it's not going to be chaos, but fingers crossed we get through the first few corners cleanly. Everyone now starting to follow the little green widget. They'll now be getting the speed widget on, telling them to stick within the speed limits as they cross the start-finish line. Any second now. Lights out and away we go. So straight away, both Peter and it looks like, just look at, make sure it is there, Carlo. Yeah, make a good start.
Oh, we had an incident right in the back there in the middle. Okay.
So according to
Diamante,
this,
Alessandro. Okay.
Yeah, I can see there's
he had a contact. I think he was.
Yeah, there's quite a few little cars battling up now. This is telling me. I was going to say, it was telling me that the start grid wasn't as I thought. It was telling me Nelson was at front and I couldn't see it. No, it's just realigned itself now after the start. Obviously, the starting process interferes with the game a little bit. So from this perspective, you can see Peter and Carlo started to mean to go on. Just going back a step, we've also got Reese and Andrea together. A little bit further back, we've got Craig and John carrying on as well. And a little bit further back from that, we've got Mark and Chris. You can see there's already a bit of temptation further up front where we've got, that's Craig and John. I think John's in the white Ferrari and Craig's in the big Bentley behind him. Reese is putting pressure on Andrea, but I say he ties a cold at this point. It's one of them, you know, you've got to be really careful whether you want to risk it or not. And Carlo is putting pressure on Peter. So I'm hoping
Definitely.
at the as we conclude the first lap, everyone gets clean. Jonathan Wood's just dropped down a couple of places.
That was an incident here.
Okay, so
Jonathan
what we'll do is
Jonathan Wood spun.
Okay, let's go back and see if I can find him. Okay, I've selected it.
He's getting back on the track right now, but I think he's getting.
So
he's Jonathan dead last.
But with Jonathan Wood at the moment, he's in the Porsche. He's trying to go up the inside. He's nudged. I think that's Alistair.
Another car, another Christer Hjort. He's stopped in the middle of the track as well.
Oh, so
he probably spun.
He's hit the curb there, and it's took the drive off his car, and he's ended up going straight, which means he's then collected another car. So he's unfortunately he's hit the curb there, and that's put him towards, as you can see, the back of the race. And Christer's also dropped down the list significantly as well. Now obviously can't go back and show you that replay because it'll only let me do one at a time. Once I've lost the 30 seconds, it gets really difficult to try and go back. So I'm going to go back to the front, and we've got jump on board with Reese. As you can see, Reese is putting pressure on Andrea here.
Yes.
And he looks like he's going for the dive, but that's certainly not a passing place, or I'm aware of one anyway.
No.
Not with these guys anyway, the really fast guys. I've seen passing under blues there, but not certainly under race conditions. Hi Kenneth, welcome to the stream. And the two guys in front are still going as well. Got Craig is putting pressure on John, just behind. There's battles everywhere, and you can see Chris is putting pressure on Mark. So I think there's battles everywhere. Neil Bywater is putting pressure on Alessandro. And then we've got Giovanni towards the rear, putting pressure on Stevens. So there's battles everywhere. I'm just going to go back to Neil Bywater, because he's putting a lot of pressure on Alessandro here, and he might get a drive to allow him to pass it, but it does look like Alessandro's got a really good run out of the corner, which means that I think Alessandro's just too far back to make the pass happen. And Alistair in the Bentley behind them is just sitting there in wait. Just jump on board with David Gerrard. There's a little collection of cars here. Bit of pressure being put on by Kev actually. Putting a lot of pressure on David Gerrard there, and then in front of them we've got Eric. Chris Bourne's putting pressure on Mark Rogers, but as of yet not looking like he's passing. I will keep an eye on that, and I will switch if need to. David Noble's putting pressure on Tony Whitten. Again, I'll keep an eye on that. And what I'll do is I'll put the timing screen on with the gaps for you, just so you can see where we're up to. Okay. Few cars at the moment. Let's go on board with Neil. This battle's still going on. Nifosi is still putting pressure on Stevens, and has he made it stick? He has indeed. He's gone up the inside, and you can see there Jonathan Wood's going to have a go as well and put pressure on them. Other people going quick at the moment is Chris Baker, who's putting pressure on Noble. As they come into the chicane, is he going to get a good drive? It looks like he's gone for the wide option to take the inside. You don't really want to be hitting the curb there and getting some sand, because it will take a bit of drive off the car. Neil's still putting pressure on Alessandro.
Yes.
And just a switch, because it looks like he might have him on the straight here.
Yeah, he's going to try something there. That's
he's
a risky place to overtake. But
oh, he's gone onto the marbles there, but he just couldn't get the drive. But he's going for the inside. Is he going to take the inside?
Yes.
Mutual driving, side-by-side racing. Are they both going to go round? Something's going to give. And it looks like Neil's managed to take the... And he's let Alistair through. Oh, no contact. But they're going round the corner, the pair of them. And you can see that's just allowed Alessandro to pull away a little bit. But Alistair's now putting pressure on Neil as well. So from Neil going from the hunter, he's now become the hunted in the case of 2 or 3 corners. So yeah, really good racing, clean racing there. And we do have Rudolph sitting in the weights in the green car behind them. Now I'm going to jump back a little bit, because there's 3 cars tightly packed together, and I think someone's just waiting to collect someone else here, or pass them. Let's see how this goes. So this is still the Chris Baker, David Noble. We've got Tony Whitten in the red car, and Noble's collided with Whitten. That's caused 2 cars to go out, and it's allowed Chris Baker to run through there.
Unfortunate, yeah.
So not like keeping their finger on the pulse of action there. He saw it live. Quite an ambitious move up the inside there. Unfortunately, I think from that perspective, one of the cars was turning in already. And I think Merch has managed to pass David Noble as well. Not saying commentators curse, Andy. I just switched to it. Just said, you know, something's going to give. And it did. I didn't say who. So I'm not being blamed for taking anybody out that time. I know my commentator curse is pretty bad, but I didn't put a name on it that time deliberately. And we've now got pressure with Eric putting really good pressure on the Lexus, putting power down to catch Chris up in the Aston. And then behind that we've got David Gerrard stills in the... Yeah, Derek Bird looks like he's just managed to pass Giovanni Nifosi. And it looks like Nifosi's gone off actually because Jonathan Wood's passed him as well.
That's it.
So it looks like he's going down. He's not losing much time, so it looks like it wasn't an impact as such. I'm going to jump on board with Alistair because Alistair's still putting pressure on Neil. And as we come down the straight here, it'll be interesting. Well, as we come towards the straight eventually, it'll be interesting to see whether he can get the power down and you know, catch Neil, because that Bentley's got some grunt. Get through this little tricky section, get through the chicane, and then let's see where the Bentley is at that point in time, because I do believe if the Bentley's that close to the Ferrari, the grunt alone, the fact that it's a great big block as well doesn't help it, but the grunt alone, I think we'll see it past the Ferrari. You can just see that's not a move. I said it before he did it. I think he realised there and he had outbroke himself. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Okay, I'm going to... Again, some action still going on at the back here between Jonathan Wood. We've got Derek Bird and Nifosi. Alistair Hughes is now dropping places as a result of that hitting of the curb and going across. Still got quite a bit of racing to do here. Obviously, 36 minutes still to go. So, you know, just short of 10 minutes. Yeah, there's been a few incidents, a few accidents and stuff. But actually, in all, I think that the racing's pretty good. We've seen some very clean manoeuvres as well. So it's not always doom and gloom. Either Jonathan Wood late into the braking. Made a lot of groundwork up on Derek there. It'll be interesting to see if he can manage to keep this up. And see if he's going to get him on the straight. Both in the Porsche. So, you know, talking about very evenly matched. It's really going to be about car setup. Which car's set up to run quicker on the straight. We have had a pass. I'll just do a quick replay on that one. And Craig Holmes has managed to pass. Come on, switch. Craig Holmes has managed to make a move on. It's already showing it. It's not going to let me show it now. There's a delay there. It wouldn't switch back. But Craig has managed to pass Mark Rogers. Ah, no, I see what's happened. So Mark's managed to pass Craig as a result of Craig going off, and then Craig's took the place back. Right, that explains it then. Because it had shown up as a movement, but he hadn't picked one of them up. And you can see now that's invited Chris Bourne to the party. So he's well and truly joined the party now.
In the meantime, we have Peter Wurstliner really showing he's the boss once again.
Yeah, 135.4.
That's it. See, I told you before, once the race starts, he's a very difficult guy to run after. He manages to develop a pace that no one can match. Yeah. And that's his strength.
You can see there, I don't know whether Craig Holmes has got a problem, but Chris Bourne's just managed to take him. You know, it didn't even look like it was defended much there. I am going to switch forward though, because we've got a bit of action with Reese again. Reese is still putting pressure on Andrea.
Andrea. Yeah,
oh, Andrea's gone wide. You don't want to be going wide there. Oh, he's managed just to keep it on track. Yeah, go wide there. It just pulls you to the side. You just can't get the steering in. He just managed to get away with that, Andrea there. Reese is putting him under a lot of pressure here. If he could be this close on the start-finish straight, I do feel he'll probably pass him.
Andrea is a very strong driver. He's going to be a very difficult one to pass, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But Reese is applying the adequate pressure on him.
Yeah, he's just that corner there. He's just managed to pull away a little bit. Just going to go towards the back. It's
I'm sorry, it's the difference between the Bentley and the Aston Martin. I believe they don't behave the same.
No, absolutely. I mean, the Bentley doesn't even know what a curb is. Jonathan Wood's gone wide there. He's going to lose a bit of time. Alistair Hughes looks like he's gone off again. He's right at the back of the grid now. He lost several places. Yeah, you can see he's trying to straighten his car up. So I don't know what's happened there, but there's a whole host of cars who have now managed to pass him. It's not shown as contact, so I don't believe it was an incident as such. So I think he's just over-egged the car a little bit, and it's give up on him. That's all the people getting close now. That's split them up a little bit. And even Reese is nearly a second down on Andrea now, so obviously quite a difference. In fact, Andrea's putting a really good lap in as we speak. Nowhere near Peter and Carlo though at the front. And we'll just sit on board with Carlo. You can see Peter in front of him. They're both in Bentleys, so they're both perfectly matched.
That's exactly it.
You can see the battling with the wheel though, so the cars are very, very loose. I'll tell you who's moving well as well up the leaderboard is Eric. So I'm just going to show you the position delta. You can understand. So the shakers and movers as we stand at the moment. Rickard Weston's made 13 places. Chris Bourne's made 5 places. And as I said, Eric's made 9 places as well. So a lot of people are moving forward. Equally, you move forward, people move backwards as well. So quite interested to see the fact that, you know, we're seeing drivers move backwards and forwards. And, you know, it's good the fact that we've got that variation rather than people just staying static. Don't forget, this is a track where you're not supposed to be able to pass on. And yet we've just seen all them numbers indicating how many passes people have made inadvertently. And now we can see it again. Eric's just managed to take Chris. So Eric's moving forward all the time here. He's managed to take him in the chicane by the looks of it. Very surprising. Maybe Chris was broke a little bit late, but I do think Chris is going to get a good run here now. So has Chris got the power in the Aston versus the Lexus? Doesn't seem to be catching the Lexus there. No, that'd be very, very to go for that braking point. You can see there Eric's got that car settled in the corner and is now coming out. And I do think we'll probably see Eric just starting to pull away from Chris. I mean, alternatively, Chris could stick with him, which means they'll pull away from David, who's behind them at the moment, in another Aston. So Aston's quite a good choice of car on here. I think Bentley's the favourite, and we do, as you can see, have a couple of Lexuses as well running in relation to the grid itself. Nelson's putting pressure. I'm just going to jump on board with Nelson. Oh, bit of contact there.
Yeah.
And that was with Alessandro. But Nelson is waiting, and he's going to let Alessandro back. So, total respect there, Nelson. That's exactly what we want to see. You know, you went down to an angle there, and now he starts to race again. So, fair respect. Unfortunately, and Alessandro then over exit a little bit. So, I think they can race again from there. But good respect there, Nelson. Well done. You know, that's what we encourage. If you do hit somebody and it's obviously your fault, we encourage you to give the place back. We do impose penalties if you don't follow them rules. It's as simple as that. And sometimes, you know, it's better to be the gentleman rather than the aggressor who just scampers off into the distance for no reason. You can see now Nelson's getting pressure from Rickard. So is Rickard going to get... I think Nelson's going to get a run on Alessandro here. And I think Rickard's going to benefit the most because he's going to get almost a double tow. But neither of them are pulling. In fact, Rickard's losing time. But he wasn't in the tow. He stayed in the open air. 4 cars joined in there. That's Eric's joined the party as well now. So jump back a little bit. Got a proper little train going.
Yeah, you have a 7-car train there.
Yeah, Jonathan's just passed Giovanni Nifosi. I'm just going to catch up on the chat. Been concentrating on the game a little bit. So Terry reckons the Aston's quicker on the straight. We're talking about pedals, different load cell pedals. And Luke's saying someone's playing bumper cars. And Andy Lee says that's a well-known contact spot for Andy and Luke, apparently. Keep that to yourselves, guys. You know, if you get always in contact with each other and you always meet there, I'm sure we don't need to know about it. Yeah, it must be a fault on the track surface. So these are still battling. Jonathan Wood's gone down again, so There's been an incident there. So let's see if we can get that incident covered.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going slow, but there's another car spun round. So you can see the two Porsches. Very, very close. Oh, he's hit him into the corner there. Pushed him round. Oh, and a big collision there.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
So there's a couple of cars really suffering there. And you can see a Mercedes tries to avoid them at the back. And there's a Mercedes off-roading. Comes back on and doesn't quite catch anybody else. But, yeah, that's... you don't want to be reversing onto the track at that point. That was very unfortunate. But yeah, well, don't think everyone's back on track. There's been a change up front. Eric's managed to take another 2 places. But he is getting pressure. Although I am just looking at... No, that incident's the one that was covered on lap 10. This train is quite astronomical, actually. What's going on in it? Anything can happen. And look in front of them. They've got Nelson and Alessandro. This is going to take them battling for the top 10. Yeah, you're all on the... you're all just explaining. And there's been an incident there. I missed that one. I was reading the chat. Nelson and Alessandro, did they come together again? Let me... I missed that on the... Because I was concentrating on the chat. Just bear with me a second.
I didn't see that.
So, let me just switch to Nelson. So they were in front of this batch of cars coming down. They were in front, as you can see. And then... he's very ambitious up the inside there. Again, that's not a passing place. And that's took them both out. Yeah, there's a few places where you don't really want to risk it. And I think that could be damaged, that car of Nelson's, because he's really struggling to get back on track there. Yeah. Oh, he's still running. Let's go back to where we were. Let's go on board with Eric. There's Eric going down the straight. There's a train of cars. David's putting pressure on him. Is David going to take him? He was 3/10. He's got a good tow. I don't think it's enough. So... Chris Baker's the lead of this train, and in front of them I think is Rickard Weston, who's had a quiet race and just got on with it, to be honest.
Yeah, Giovanni Nifosi left.
Andy Lees is saying the Stewarts are going to be busy. I think that's right, yeah. Lars from pit to 17, Lars from pit to 18. Yeah, so Lars is moving forward. Where he is at the moment. So, yeah, he's currently in 17th place. Chris is now managing to take a few people, but looks like Merch is in the pits. I don't know whether his race is run. I'm going to... The action's still here. There is a bit of action behind. And Bolton and Chris Victor saying someone got a COVID cough. Well, no, I haven't. It might be a dry throat because I'm talking too much, but I've got some water here, so I'll just take a quick sip of the water. And I can assure you it's water. Not like what I was drinking for yesterday's race. Right, I'm just going to take a step back and go on board with Noble, because in fact we'll go to the rear wing, because you can see the Noble's gaining on it. I think this is Noble's gaining on Gerard. Oh, that's a dive, that. Whoa, nice braking. That's what you call braking. In fact, they're starting to catch on Eric. So if I just jump forward a car, you can see the pair of them are closing in on Eric as well. So Eric's really up against it. I will keep my eye on Lars. He's still in 17th, as you can see at the moment. Let's see what's happening at the front. The gap at the front is just all quite calm. There's no one really putting pressure on anybody else. Craig Holmes is putting a little bit of pressure on Chris Bourne, but at this moment in time, it's nothing to start writing home and sending parcels about. If it gets any closer, I will jump to that. But he is putting pressure on him. And then the actions, these cars here, this is definitely where the action is between these three cars. In fact, 4 cars, because I think we've got Noble behind them as well.
That's right.
We've got 4 cars in less than 2 seconds between them. I think this is taking the pressure off Ricard in front of them, because these are battling. It's allowing Ricard just to get his head down and move forward and keep going. Got 23 minutes left of the race. I think the top 3, unless there's an incident between them, are looking pretty much nailed on, which is Peter, Carlo and Andrea. Reese might have something to say about it, but at this moment in time he's over a second behind. John Saunders is over a second behind Reese, and then there's a bit of a gap between John and Mark, and then there's a bit of a gap between Mark and Chris. But I am keeping an eye on Chris, because Chris does appear to be catching Mark Rogers up a little bit, and he's pulling Craig Holmes with him as well. Tony Whitten's putting pressure on Kev Forrest. Very similar gap to this, but obviously there's quite a few cars of action here. We really want to see what's going to go on in relation to the action. Can they close the gap on Ricard in front of them? And can David Noble come from behind the pack and actually make ground on them all and sweep past? As we know, Noble has proven to be a quick driver, and if he's managed to keep his tyres, keep on top of his tyres, anything could happen.
It's very interesting that you have that Lexus sandwich. Oh, there you go, Eric.
Yeah, he's trying to just push Eric a little bit there. Eric's managed to keep it going though. That's David Gerrard going for the inside, but as a result of that, is he now going to lose ground on Noble? He's lost ground on Noble. So that contact's upset the balance of his car and allowed Noble to gain. And look who's joining the party behind them, Alessandro himself. So now Gerrard's gone from the aggressor to now having to defend in the case of 2 laps. So that little move up the inside, which he tried, I didn't think would ever work, because you've got to be on the left-hand side, really. And Tony Whitten and Kev Forrest are battling. And unfortunately, I think that Tony's just spun there. So I'll just do a quick replay on that, because from that perspective, it looked like there was a pass and then a bit of a spin. I'm not too sure. Just waiting for the replay to catch up. I'm not too sure whether there was actually contact. I don't believe there was contact. It looks like one of them's managed to do a pass and then over-rotated the car, or just completely outbrake themselves. So I wasn't far off there. But yeah, he's lost a couple of places as a result of that. But still, nobody got any car damage from that perspective, so that's quite reassuring. We'll jump back on board with Eric. Sorry, there you go. That's the replay over. Unfortunately, it's got and Chris Baker's managed to pass him, but Eric's got it back again, and you can see now David's managed to take Chris Baker. So it was a bit of an Aston fest there. 3 Astons trying to poach this Lexus. I did say, would David take the front of the queue? Alessandro's still trying to join in at the back. Let's just see how Alessandro's doing. You can see there's David Gerrard, and you can see Alessandro there. So we've got 5 cars in frame, and all of them racing, wanting that place up the grid. Now, just to remind you, this is for 12th place, because Ricard's currently got 11th covered, and there's a big gap between Ricard and Rudolph. It does look like it's settled down a little bit. It's not as...
Yes, it has.
It's like everyone's realised if we go too far, we're going to take everybody out. Let's just see how the braking goes into the last zone here, because there's been quite a few gains into this last corner. You can see the Noble's made again.
John Saunders just lost his car. He was chasing Rhys Wiggins, and he lost his car and hit the barrier.
What John Saunders did?
Yes.
He's still running.
He's still running,
but he's now pressured from Mark Rogers behind him. Yeah. But it looks like his car's not damaged too much. Just jump on board with Nelson, because there's another train. Not like buses. You wait for one, then many come together. We've got 2 trains going on 2 different parts of the track. Obviously, Nelson's lost a bit of space after that dive down the inside, which resulted in contact with Alessandro. He lost numerous places there. He's now chasing the McLaren of Kev Forrest, and then behind, I think that's the Lexus of Shane, and then the Ferrari of Tony, and then the Porsche of Jonathan. So this little train's similar to the train we were looking at before. Craig Holmes is now putting pressure on Chris Bourne. I will keep an eye on this, but there's going to be a move. Just going to jump forward. Lars is going for another move. Couldn't make it stick. And Lars has now joined the back of this party. He wanted to be involved. He was saying, you know, you can't party without me, guys. And he's joined in. So Lars is now there as well. So we've got Lars, Alessandro, Gerard, Baker, Noble and Don all within a few seconds of each other. So exciting stuff. Absolutely exciting stuff.
We have Holmes chasing Chris Bourne as well.
Yeah, he got within a couple of tenths before, but he's just lost a bit of time. I was just going to say, is Lars going for an over-ambitious punt down the inside there with a send it letter? But he didn't. He's decided to self-post it himself rather than send it. And he's now keeping the pressure on Alessandro. We don't know if Alessandro's car's damaged, by the way, with the contact with Nelson earlier. You know, it could be he's running with a damaged car. He could have aero problems. And that's why he's not really pushing the guys in front. Yeah, Craig is still putting pressure on Chris. I will just switch to that. I'll keep an eye on this one as well and see if this gets any closer. You can see this is very close. So this is another Bentley and another Lexus. It looks like Craig's got a good run out of there. But let's see how this goes. Lars still hasn't managed to gain on Alessandro, but I am looking at it. And we've got someone, Maxicento GT Sport. Could you show Peter? Let's just see if there's a pass here first. Craig's going for the outside, but Chris Bourne's defended really well there. And he's managed to take it. Take the inside, nice and easy. We'll just give Peter, who's out by himself, up at the front, calmly just getting on with business. So you can see now he's starting to catch Krista, who's one of the back markers. So it'll be interesting to see how easy he gets past Krista. Krista is, you know, a fast guy himself. But I think he's struggled and he's either been into the pits or he's been down towards the back. Merch is out the pit, so Merch is running. So I think Peter's already managed to take Merch. And we've now got Peter catching the second back marker, which is going to be Krista. Yeah, I think it's going to be done. There'll be blue flags in a minute. Lars has managed to make another place up. Looks like Alessandro's gone to the pits. So I'm just going to switch to a replay because I think Alessandro's in the pits. And we don't know the reason why. So let's just go for the replay. Come on. Lars is behind him. Nothing there at the moment. The gap's pretty wide. You can see Lars is showing his nose up the inside, but brakes, no problem. And Alessandro just goes off. Oh, I wonder if something's wrong, because that's very unexpected. Didn't even try to turn in. And that's obviously put him into the pits. Oh, I hope it's nothing himself. But yeah, very rare when you see just a car going off like that. I'll just go back on board with Pete. Yeah, bizarre. Lars, you know, he was doing well there, Alessandro as well.
Yes, he was.
That means Lars has now gained another place. Luke's just playing probably a pee break. Yeah, he stopped to the pits for a pee. Yeah. Still a lot of moving going on towards the back. Tony Whitten's managed to take Jonathan Wood. So that battles for 21st.
Well, something happened between the two of them too.
Just looking 17 and 71. Yes, there was a bit of an incident, I think. Derek Bird's managed to take them both. Tony Whitten's, Derek Bird's took them both. Tony Whitten's behind, and where's Jonathan Wood? So Jonathan Wood's still there.
Yes, he is.
So it must have been a tap as opposed to, you know, either car spinning out, but it was enough to allow Derek Bird to pass them. Still getting very close. Nelson's still putting pressure on Kev. Craig's still putting pressure on Chris. And the gap at the front is still 2 seconds. Let's just jump on board with Nelson, because Nelson's really close now, putting pressure on Kev. Don't go for that dive down the inside again. He's not in this time. He's really putting pressure on him. If he's this close on the straight, I think that the Aston's probably got a bit more grunt than the McLaren. He's showing his nose there. He's playing his cards, isn't he? Don't play poker with Nelson, he'll show you his hand. Oh, he's over-rotated the car there, lost a bit of time. He's still going for it. He's getting a cracking drive out though. So I don't know whether there's a problem with that with Kev's car there, but the drive Nelson's got is fantastic. This is going to be the key corner. Can he keep the good drive out? He's got a nice tight angle in there. Gained a bit into that corner. Really riding the curb. Needs a good drive out to try and gain on him. But I think the McLaren's just too far ahead there. He has got a good drive, but I think the gap is just too much.
Yes, it is.
And I think they're going to go for another lap. Yeah, I think that little bit of the curb before, he's over-rotating it again. He's obviously got a lot of oversteer on that car. There's a couple of corners now, you've seen the front end, he just wants to carry on. Let's see if he suffers with it here.
Yeah, but I think Nelson also has kind of a damaged car to deal with.
There is that as well, you know, with the issue with Alessandro before. He's very quick down this section.
Well, it looks like Chris Holmes could pass Chris Bourne.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump to that now. There we go.
He's going to try.
No, it's the same move as before. He's going to go around the outside because Chris Bourne's defending on the inside like a trooper. He's trying to get the inside, but there's just no gap there. Jonathan Wood has just managed to take Bird. Oh no, he'd passed Bird on the outside, but Bird had the better drive on the corner. But these two are still at it. So Wood's going for the inside. Is he going to try the dive down the inside? No, he's not. Both take the corner really well. Both get a good drive out, and there's still a couple of cars behind them, as you can see. And Kev's managed to take Nelson. So, oh no, so Nelson's past Kev, and there's Kev's past Nelson back again.
Look at this. Ross Lehner is about to lap Jonathan Wood and Derek Bird.
Okay, and oh, missed that then. Nelson did get that move made. Well, let's have a look. Has he passed them both? You ever missed it? I know this car coming up. There's
just
Bird.
passed Wood.
Yeah.
And he's after Bird now.
Yeah, as I can see, he's got Bird in his sights. And Nelson went up the inside there, but I think his speed was too much and it's caused his car to drift. And as I said, I don't know if he's carrying damage from earlier. Let's just jump back on board. I will keep an eye on this because we've got Craig. We're still putting pressure on Chris. And you can see there, Derek getting shown the blue flags has let Peter through. This hasn't upset the apple cart because Carlo is still 5 seconds behind. So let's just jump on board with Craig again. He's still twitching. He's still twitching, wanting to know where he's going to take this. I think Craig got a better run out there though. This time he didn't have to overcorrect the car. And there's Mark Rogers in front. That's not Mark Rogers, that's the back marker. So this back marker could play a big part in this. Eric's caught Ricard. So he's half a second behind Ricard. So again, I'll keep an eye on that. Eric slowly worked his way through this grid. As I said, he's one of the guys who I think is on the moved up the leaderboard most from what was, you know, his starting position down the grid. Let's just move back a little bit to them because I think this battle's going to carry on like this for a number of laps.
Carlo has managed to reduce the gap between him and Peter. I don't know if it's because of the traffic, but it's cut about 2 seconds.
Right. I'm seeing a 4-second gap at the moment.
Yes.
It is fluctuating. But I think different parts of the track, though, it goes up and down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
John Saunders is putting pressure on Reese Wiggins now. So has Reese overcooked disc tyres, you know, with the battling before with Andrea? Because Reese is quite behind Andrea now, so I wonder if he's made a mistake and he's overcooked his tyres. But Craig Holmes is still having a go with Bourne. He's got a very good drive out here. Is he going for the inside? Forcing his nose away. No, he's diving left. He's not going to make that stick, but he could get a good run. Oh, there's contact. And there's double contact. 2 bites of the purple cherry, and Bourne's doing donuts. He's overcooked it. But first news to Craig. Craig's doing exactly what we do request people to do, and I think is Chris coming through? Yeah,
Chris
he is.
But
it's let a number of cars through. Rudolph, Neil have now gone through as well. So unfortunately, they've lost a few places there as a result of that contact. That's such a shame. I just moved back to Eric. Lars is still moving forward. I'm keeping an eye on Lars. He's catching Chris Baker up. He's half a second behind. As you can see now, though, Eric's really getting to the grips of that back end of that Porsche. He's probably taken 5 seconds out of Ricard in about 3 to 4 laps. And the pressure's now relentless. So let's see how good Ricard is under pressure. Is he going to force him into a mistake? The back end of that Porsche looked like it was sliding a bit there if tyres gone off. And we've got David Noble sat behind as well, waiting for to pounce on either of them if there's a mistake.
Wait a second here. You have John Saunders who's going to try to pass Rhys Wiggin.
Yeah. I'll just switch to that. There you go. It's a start-finish straight, so don't think he's going to get the grunt in the Ferrari on the start-finish straight against the Bentley. But he's been with him now for a couple of laps. It's been close like that. As I said, I wonder whether Rhys has made a mistake. That's why the gap between him and Andrea is so big. And a mistake has caused him to burn his tyres up a little bit. That Ferrari is looking planted, though. I'm just wondering whether the tyres on the Ferrari are in a much better situation. We've only got 7 minutes to go, though. So, you know, a couple of laps' time, you've got to be thinking of getting that move signed, sealed and delivered. Got a good follow through here, though. If you can be this close on the straight, I think the Ferrari might even have grunt against the brute of the Bentley. David Noble's getting close to Eric in that battle with Eric, Ricard and David. Saunders is having a cracking race. I think when the first few races he did with us, I think there was 1 or 2 little mistakes he made, and I think he openly admitted he made a couple of mistakes. But yeah, it's he's looking much more refined for this race. He's really putting pressure. You know, bearing in mind the guys that putting pressure under are quick guys, and he's relentless. You can just see though that Bentley grunt in that little bit of the corner. There's been a few overtakes at the back. I don't know if there's been contact. 109. Who's 109? That was Craig Holmes. That was the incident before. There's been no other incidents. He's rolling the Ferrari into the corners to get the drive back out, isn't he? Whereas I think Rhys is braking hard, which means the Ferrari's going to get the power down a little bit easier.
Yeah, they're very closely matched, but it's impossible to pass when you're that close match. It's very difficult.
Carlo House took a second out of Pete's time, though. I think the time does look like it's settled, but it's settled on the lower time as opposed to the higher time.
Yeah,
it keeps going up to 4 point, but I think it settles around 3.3. We've got someone else coming to the party now, Mark Rogers.
Yes.
He's got his invite. Or he's found his invite and he's joined in.
See, these are 2 newcomers and they're doing real well.
Absolutely.
Rudolf Stein is having a good race as well.
Yeah, he raced a few towards the end of last season, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Just going to jump back a little bit to Lars. As Lars in the orange McLaren's putting pressure on the Aston of Chris. And I will keep an eye on what's going on at the front with John and Rhys. But that gap stabilised.
John just lost his car and smashed into the rail.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like he's out of the race. Yeah, he's in the pits.
Let's have a look, see what the replay shows us. It'll switch to replay in a second. Says waiting for it. Let's see what he's done. So there's no pressure there. He's gone down to the chicane quite easily. Turned into the chicane. Yeah, he just lost the car. Has he over rotated coming out?
Yes,
he's over rotated coming out. Yeah, you can see his bonnet's up. And then he's at, yeah, that's very unfortunate. What a shame. And while all that was going on, Lars has managed to pass.
I noticed that was an issue with that Ferrari because I tried that Ferrari for a few races, and it has a tendency to lock. The front has a tendency to lock, and you lose the car the way you just saw it now.
Yeah, it's the light front end, isn't it? It just seems to go away with itself. These two are still battling, but they've caught up with Rudolph in front of them. I mean, I know that Rudolph passed them before, but they've now caught back up with him as a result of the collision they had. It looks like neither of them received too much damage, even though there's a double hit from Holmes on Bourne. Although Bourne's gone very wide there, and he's going to concede the position to Craig. But yeah, he just got his tyres just off the rumble strip onto the sand, and that's meant Craig can now go past. So are we going to see Craig scamper off now because he's put a lot of pressure on Chris for a number of laps to show he's actually got the speed. Quite a clean pass in the end as a result of Bourne going wide, and you can see there's already a gap appearing. So I think we're going to see Craig now put pressure on, although he's going to lose the back end there if he's not careful. Going to put pressure on Rudolph in front of them, who's been a steady 7th for the duration of this. 2 minutes to go. I'll go down and do a quick of the grid. There's a Pete.
Yeah, and just now in the top 5, you have 4 Bentleys and one Aston Martin.
We've got Pete up front, followed by Carlo. Both having nice, clean, I'm not going to say easy races because this track's not easy. Andrea, who's managed to keep Reese at bay as a result of some quite strong pressure, but has just got on with it. He is quite a considerable gap behind Carlo. That gap between Carlo now has been significant from Peter. So Peter stretched his legs quite a lot. There's been another incident between car 68 and 33, which is Shane and Nelson. Reese Wiggin, he's managed to keep cars at bay for the duration. He put a bit of pressure on Andrea earlier on, but you can see now Mark Rogers is putting pressure on him and wants a piece of that party. But I think the top 3 at the moment, I'm not going to say commentator's curse, are nailed on. Shall we see? Craig is putting pressure on Rudolph. We go back to Mark Rogers, who we've just been talking about. So he's got a good drive down there, but defending the right-hand side. We've seen Reese do it numerous times. He's not going to get that pass to stick unless he had a lot of speed. I'm going to switch to Craig, because Craig's very, very close to Rudolph here as they come in. So they're coming to the final straight. Are we going to see the grunt of the Bentley be unleashed against the Ferrari on the straight? Because we know this Bentley's got the grunt. So is he going to get a good drive out? The drive out's so important.
And there's Mark Rogers attacking Rhys Wiggins in this last lap.
Is he going to get it? He's not going to take it from there, is it? It's too far out. Bourne's back as well, so they're all at it. He's got a good drive there. Going up the inside, going to be 2 by 2. Something's going to have to give. Craig's got the line, he's keeping it, and now Chris is there as well. So Rudolph could be losing 2 places in just a matter of a couple of bends. Chris has took a different angle in there to give him the drive out. This is more or less last lap as well. You can see there, is there going to be contact? He's looking, he's looking, he's looking. Where's that gap? Can I get that gap? Chris is desperate to pass him. And Rudolph's just keeping himself going. Yeah, Craig's disappearing. Oh, Craig's gone wide a bit though. Looked like he'd lost a bit of time there.
So Peter won, followed by Carlo
and
Andrea Cayola.
Top 3 as we predicted. We're going to catch them a couple of laps ago. Are we going to see a move here though? I don't think we are. Oh, Chris has gone over the curb there. Just upset the Lexus a little bit. I think that's going to be pretty much nailed on. So let's just jump on board with Neil as Neil comes over the finish line. Well done, Neil. 6th place. Craig Holmes, who's had I think it's fair to say, a battle in more ways than one. fighting, a few collisions, defending, racing, passing. We've got Rudolph and Chris, and then we've got Rickard, who's had a fantastic steady race and has kept the guys behind him at bay. That was a really good race, that. And as you can see, we've got Eric coming over as well, and David Noble coming over. So that was really exciting for the midfield. Got David Gerrard, who was part of that train, but I think just lost possibly the tyres towards the end. Lars, who's done a storming run there coming through. We've got a car going into the pit, so that's Peter. He's lapped that many cars. Chris Baker coming over the line with Mark Stevens, and that's all cars now registered as finished. Whoa, that was quite a race. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. So top three, Peter, Carlo and Andrea Caiola. Absolutely fantastic. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everybody. I've been Mark with Jeremy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.